Well, greetings, Gary, from the man in the video. My name's Paul Mays. I am a Christian. No prefix, no suffix, no substitutions. Added by Jesus himself to that one church, pre-denominational, that belongs to Christ when I obeyed his one gospel. Pre-denominational, before all religious division. Jesus said, I will build my church, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I was added to that church when I met his terms for salvation. Acts chapter 2 reveals that. You may actually have left that one church if you used to practice acceptable worship music. So there's a few points I'd like to bring out right away. So the first thing is, you said, if I believe something like this, I use the term musical instruments are sinful. So, cheeseburgers are not sinful. If, however, you try to bring in cheeseburgers to the Lord's Supper, they would be sinful. Musical instruments are not sinful. If, however, you try to bring in the unauthorized man-made instruments that can't teach or admonish into the avenue, the way of worship that Jesus offers for us, then they become sinful. So there's a big problem with you saying, instruments are sinful. This reveals, like, you're asking for debate, and yes, that term is completely acceptable. You're asking for debate, but that right there shows that you're not even qualified to properly define terms. I mean, you should have said instruments are sinful during the avenue of worship, the act if you need to, during singing praises to God. But you're not making the connection between the disconnect between musical instruments as part of worship. Musical instruments can't be inherently sinful. They're not inherently sinful. But when you decide to disregard God's terms for acceptable worship music, then yeah, they become sinful then. But no, instruments are not inherently sinful. It's when you decide to abuse an avenue of worship by bringing in unauthorized elements. Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger's great. I make them. Thinking about making them tonight. They're not sinful. If you try to bring them into the Lord's Supper, they become sinful, okay? So I don't really think you're qualified to have this exchange that you're seeking. I, however, have 2 debates on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. You can see what you would be getting into by checking out those. Baptism Debate Paul Mays on either format, either platform. You say you've never gotten anybody to take you up on it. Well, you haven't been asking the right people. There's a lot of people ready to step up to the plate. I do wonder if you are qualified, considering your you just really needed to specify. You can't just say, musical instruments are sinful. Nobody thinks that. Literally no one. And if you think that we think that, then you really are not educated on that side of things. Now, you say you used to practice that. You used to teach that. But now, so what I gather from that is, I used to do what God tells me, but now I wholeheartedly defend the vain and unauthorized worship that involves mechanical man-made instruments. Now, if you would like, I'll actually prep you. I will prep you with all of the arguments that I would provide. And the way that I'll do that is you just turn to my video that's called A Wall of Evidence. So Paul Mays, Wall of Evidence would be the search terms you would use. You would get there on Facebook and or YouTube. I'll give it all to you. You see if you can handle that. And if you would like, see, I'm prepping you. You can have all of my ammo and see if you can take it apart, because I am loaded for bear. Yeah, I love you. And I want you to stop defending vain worship. Stop offering worship. I love you, and I hate to think that you think about God enough to teach, maybe preach, but that you're sitting there offering. It makes me sad to think that you would be going to assemble with other believers and offer worship that God swats down because it's vain, because it's not by the authority of Jesus Christ. Here's a sampling, a taste of what you would be getting into. Sing, teach, admonish. Whatever you do must be by the authority of Jesus Christ. Colossians 3:16 and 17. Man-made instruments are not. They cannot obey the command to teach. No, you can't teach it. Does that piano teach anything? It doesn't. Hey, guess what? I play bass, drums, piano, guitar, and a lot of other instruments. And guess what? I wouldn't dream of bringing that to God because He didn't authorize it. It's not in the name of, by the authority of Jesus Christ. That's a small taste of what you would be dealing with. Look, I love you. I rebuke false doctrine with zeal by the authority of Jesus Christ because I love you. Yes, you came here to me. You will get what you asked for. I do not believe you are prepared. Go ahead and dig into my video called A Wall of Evidence so you can actually have the information. And perhaps after you dig in, you'll stop defending vain worship. Perhaps after you dig in, you'll stop offering vain worship and stop defending vain worship. It's just sad. You're going to go give God something, He's going to swat it down because it's not by the authority of Jesus Christ. My name's Paul Mays. I do love you. I'm sad for you. And I hope you will consider honestly the evidence that has been provided for you.